It's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Terumah, giving back. Parshat Terumah ostensibly discusses building of the Mishkan, the building of the tabernacle, the building of a house for God. However, before it says build the ark, build the table, shulchan, build the menorah, before it says that, it says that you should gather gifts for the ark. And then it says you should build a mikdash. So you usually take it for granted that, well, first you have to gather the materials for it, and you have to get donations, and then you build it. However, if you think about it, really, that's the logical order. Could have been a different way, couldn't it? You could have said, look, there's a mitzvah of asuli mikdash v'asachanti b'tocham. Build a temple, and I, God, will dwell in it. How should you build a temple? Make an ark, make it this, make it that. Now, how are you going to get the money for it? That's the funding. That comes second. And then we say, v'chuli terumah, give gifts, tchele v'agaman, all the different types of things, zahav, kesef, v'choshet. You should give different metals, different types of dyes, so that they can build this beautiful temple. But instead, the Torah starts with the idea of donations, and then says, oh, by the way, what are we doing with the donations? We're building a Beis HaMikdash. So why start with the idea of donations, contributions, giving money, giving material to build the Beis HaMikdash? Why? Must be that somehow the giving is the main thing. What do I mean? What is a Beis HaMikdash? So if you look in the Rambam, particularly in the Beis HaBechira and his laws, but also in the Sefer HaMitzvos, in his book of a collection of the mitzvos, one of the things he says, it's to bring sacrifices there, place to gather for the holidays, and kibbutz b'chol shana. They should have a kibbutz, a gathering like a kibbutz, a gathering every year, 3 times a year. So part of the Beis HaMikdash is to come together. So there's 2 ideas. Number one, before we even mention the idea of what a Beis HaMikdash is, there's the idea of Jews coming together to offer things together, and also the idea of giving back. There's an Agadah, there's a Midrash that says that, God gives us all kinds of things. One of them is sustenance. So we have to pay back. How can you pay back God for sustenance? God doesn't need anything. He doesn't eat anything. So we build a Beis HaMikdash. You build a table as if you're going to give God back. He sustains you with the man. He sustains you with food. You give him back the table. You have the showbread as if you can give back to God. He gives you lights, so you light a menorah, etc. There's the idea of somehow giving back. So when a Jew wants to give back to, let's say, one person wants to give back to their parents. The parents provided for them, took care of their every need. Now you want to give back to your parents. So when they get older, maybe you help them get an apartment. Maybe you help them get a helper. Maybe you help with their finances. Maybe you help with their management, with their transportation, with their housing, whatever it is. So you try to give back. God gives us all these things. How do you give back? So, and in fact, we know from the Egel HaZahav, from the golden calf, that there's a desire of people to give to the gods, to give back. Now, of course, theologically, we're constrained. We can't give to God. God doesn't need your sacrifice. He doesn't eat anything. He doesn't need all this. But nonetheless, there needs to be a place you can give to. Just like the golden calf, lahavdil, the golden calf in a sinful way, people gave to it because they wanted to give to the idolatry. There has to be a place where you can give to the Beis HaMikdash. People have the midah, the characteristic of wanting to give. And, mothers, a good Jewish mother, right, she always wants to give. Have more soup, eat this, do that. In the Beis HaMikdash, there has to be an opportunity to give that human inclination to give back, to give an opportunity for that. So it starts off by saying, you know what the essence of the Beis HaMikdash is? Well, there are many essences, there are many ideas. One of the ideas of the Beis HaMikdash is to give back. So let me start off with that idea. Give back. We're going to create a project and you can all give to it. So there are 2 elements to it. One is the idea that if everyone gives, it'll feel like a communal project. It'll be a kibbutz. It'll be a gathering of all the Jews, just like they physically gather there 3 times a year. And also, it'll be a way to give back to God. This idea that before you can have a temple, you have to gather together, is found in our prayers. We say on Yom Kippur that we allow even the sinners to join us because we have to have all the Jews together. We can't let some Jews say, "Oh, they can't come." Then you don't have all the Jews. You have to pray with all the Jews. Why do you have the chelbana, one of the very foul odor that is added to the incense, which should have a beautiful odor? If you don't have that foul odor, it doesn't work. You have to have all the people, sinners, everybody. The Ari, the great mystic, said before we start davening, we have to affirm that we love all Jews like ourselves. Without the unity, there can be no prayer. Rabbi Soloveitchik says that the reason we say Kaddish and Baruch Hu before we say our communal prayers is to say that unless we're a kibbutz, unless we're gathered together, it doesn't represent us. It's not a communal prayer if you haven't gathered together. If the leader didn't say, "Let's bless God," and everybody said, "Yeah, let's bless God." The leader didn't say, "Hey, let's praise God," and everyone says, "Yeah, may God's name be great." If you don't have the Kaddish and the Baruch Hu before, then you're not a group. So to say that we're going to build the Beis HaMikdash, who's we? Who's where? How? You have to say that the Jews gather together and they give together. Then they can build the Beis HaMikdash. So God says, number one, gather together, make a communal project. Number two, give back. I gave to you. I know you want to give back. It's awkward to say, it's theologically problematic, but the fact is, the Torah hints to it by starting off Parshas Terumah, the Parsha about the Mishkan, not with the Mishkan, but with the giving to the Mishkan. Because there has to be a place where a Jew can give back. So we said that there are two ideas expressed by the fact that the Torah starts with the gifts before the actual building. One was that we want to gather together as a communal project so that we can feel together and then build the Beis HaMikdash. The Beis HaMikdash will then represent not some guy who built it, but it will represent the unified people of Israel who built this Beis HaMikdash. It will be our collective temple. And then we said that the Terumah is there so that we can give back to God. Are these two ideas related? We might say that how do you unite people when they can give back together? If you take a congregation, if they can do chesed projects. This week we made, 5,000 sandwiches to give out to the poor people. When you have that kind of project, it's unifying. It brings people together. When you give together, when people together give, it brings them together. It's God's hope that with the giving of everyone giving what they can to the Beis HaMikdash, there'll be a sense of the collective, and the Beis HaMikdash will not represent one Jew here, there, but will represent all Jews who all contributed to it. And by giving, they will unite together. When people have projects where they do for others together, where they do for God together, that unites them and brings them together. When you have that unity, then and only then can you have the Beis HaMikdash. In our times, if we're having trouble with unity, some people want to take Israel in this direction, the other direction. Before the war, now there's more unity. We hope it'll be after the war. There'll be that unity. When you have that kind of unity, then you can have a hope to have a society that can one day perhaps have a Beis HaMikdash and build the Beis HaMikdash. First step is unity, unified purpose, and a unified project. We have a project now to keep Israel safe. Let's continue with this project, to continue to give together, unite together, and together we will be able to praise God, build a house for God, and make a place for God in this world. Thank you for joining us here at the Baron Hirsch Congregation for a discussion of the Parsha, holidays. Thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer, and thank you for joining us. And thanks to our sponsors, Karen and Barney Abbas. Thank you so much.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.